Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to this info call about our upcoming Costa Rica event. I am super excited about this one, being one of our retreats for the general public, and also I'm certain to see some melt instructors as well. We're really excited to kick this off. I'm going to share my screen here and kind of kick us off with a couple of slides, and of course, then introduce Kerrie, which I'm sure some of you guys know. So this is our Melt and Movement Self-Care Retreat in Blue Spirit. It's going to be November the 1st through the 8th. And if you have never been to one of our retreats, I have to tell you, these are pretty magical. And of course, I am coming with our master of all things melt, Kerrie Bodendorf. I'm actually going to pop her on the screen for real. Hi, Kerrie.
Oh, hi everyone.
So we're really excited about this. This is really going to be an opportunity for those of you guys to experience melt in a live setting. And I can tell you from all of the many people who have come to these events, we definitely get quite a response. I'll even show you we actually pulled up some of our retreats in our previous events, and pretty unbelievable, I think if anybody has not met me, I'm Sue. I'm the founder of the Melt Method. And I always feel like I underpromise and overdeliver an experience like no other. And for here, I always feel like people definitely get that idea. I love this idea that Melt not only helped me understand my body, but also gifted me a sense of community. And indeed, we are not just a brand. We really start with the first foot forward is our community and these like-minded humans who come to these incredible events and are also part of our community. Over the past 25 years, I've trained over 3,000 instructors in the method, and I've helped literally hundreds of thousands of people worldwide experience a gentle self-care practice to embody I think a loving way of caring for your body and focusing on what's right in the body rather than all the things that we want to change in our lives. So again, November 1st to the 8th is our event. You can really transform your life at this world-renowned Blue Spirit. This is the first time where we've gone to Blue Spirit. We've been keeping our eye on this resort for many years. And I think that if you have to say why this retreat and what is so fantastic about it, it's not just going to be melt. Kerrie is also going to be doing groove. And I think this is really going to be an amazing opportunity to not just melt, but to dance. So if you're kind of feeling the weight of the world on your shoulder, you're feeling like life is kind of getting out of hand, you want to learn how to release and renew, really just melt away stress, tension, and chronic pain in the most nourishing way possible. I feel like that is exactly what we aim to deliver. And if you've never done sound healing or just dance with the ability to allow music to move through you, not just dancing, but truly feeling every rhythmical awakening and awakening something inside, that's what we're also here to do. So if you're ready to immerse yourself in an experience designed to deepen connection, healing, and renewal, that's what we'll be able to do a Q&A with you guys afterwards. And so my question to you is, what if you could learn a self-care technique that doesn't just make you feel good, but truly transform the way that you feel, the way you move, and the way that you live? So this daily retreat flow, if for just the idea, the way that we tend to run our events, I tend to do a morning session, and oftentimes it's either with a simple melt treatment or meditation. Sometimes it's an easy dance session, and then this whole movement that we have with groove. And I'll let Kerrie speak about that in a minute. And it's just so much fun if you don't know what groove is. We also do these afternoon bliss times, whether you're just choosing to lounge about by the beach, or you want to book a spa treatment or take a wash in these lush surroundings at the shore of Costa Rica, or you simply want to reset. It's really, we give you ample time to just chill out and hang out with one another and just spend time enjoying rest. And then we also have an evening reflection. We tend to unwind with gentle self-care, workshops, movement of connection, peaceful sunset events overlooking the ocean. And then we always close with a daily intentional moment of stillness. It's part of our ability to basically teach you guys how to reset your nervous system and quiet some of the stress that most of us are dealing with from day to day. So the melt sessions that I do, I have some release and rehydrate tensions. So if you have not done melt, these are easy ways to, I'm going to teach you how to reconnect with your body through awareness assessments and rehydration techniques, tension and compression, tensional techniques. And then we also have these deeper, more restful opportunities with like rebalancing to unwind from your stressful day, reset your nervous system before bedtime. And I always feel like people who say I have a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep, you get to really learn kind of the why that happens and how you can restore your parasympathetic or rest and repair system just before bed to help you get a more restful night's sleep. And of course, just calm your mind, uplifting your mood. I'll teach you guys how to reduce anxiety if you tend to err on that side of you're worried about things, how you can, again, use sound, use melt, use movement to reset that aspect of your nervous system. And also just moving with grace. Again, Kerrie's classes are just so fantastic to move and flow and again, reconnect with your whole body in a new way. So these are just some of the sessions that I have. And then Kerrie also has these dance session and groove is for everybody. And I'm going to ask Kerrie to share a little bit about this. I always have such a ball with you because it doesn't matter if you can dance or not. The idea is to move your body. So Kerrie, share a little bit about that.
I will. I just absolutely love groove. Dance is one of my favorite things on the planet. For those of you who know me, there was a t-shirt at the last retreat I led that said, "I don't always dance." Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I need that t-shirt. But groove is about freedom of movement rather than rigid choreography. It encourages people to express themselves in an authentic way. While, kind of moving in sync with each other, you can also kind of do your own thing. It's not total free form because sometimes that can be a scary place for people. It is uniting in a rhythm pattern with the rest of the group, but doing it in your own unique way. So I won't look like you won't look like me. And it's not like a teacher in the front of the room, you're behind them, there's a mirror in front of the teacher, you see everybody in the mirror. We use the entire space. It's very freeing. And I encourage people to sing their heart out if they know the songs. Groove can be silly, it's fun, it's interactive, but at times it can also be spiritual and kind of, hit something very emotional in you. And there are very often tears on the dance floor as well as laughter. And many walk away from a groove experience with an elevated mood and a deeper connection to self. It really is a beautiful experience. So if you've never experienced it, you're really in for a treat.
Yeah, I definitely could say like I've certainly had tears come out of my eyes in some of the sessions and just the laughter. I love some of how you bring people through these techniques and some of the eye contact that you get with the other people and the smiles on everybody's face. And again, I think one of the things that has always been important to me was developing community. When I first developed Melt, I kind of felt like I was sort of on an island when I was talking about fluid flow and fascia, and even science hadn't really mentioned this concept. And I would talk to people and they were like, well, it's really the collagen synthesis that makes it important. I'm like, the fluids in fascia are so vital. They're moving. They're like your chi system. It's your fluid aspects of what keeps you connected to the world. And I think as I started teaching this methodology and brought it out to people and watched people connect and just get wowed over the fact that in just a few minutes a day, they could actually bring themselves from kind of a stuck stress state to this more baseline feeling of peacefulness and kept coming back. So now, again, we just have this incredible community. So I feel very blessed that I bring like-minded, loving, curious people who want to connect with other people, who want to laugh, who want to feel like part of something. And I think that's what we also offer. Now, this place is kind of incredible. They have some really incredible cuisine. I'm going to share my screen again. I'll show you a little bit about this. I'll talk a little bit about the space itself. It's pretty awesome. So we have, let's see if I can do this in myself. And there we go. So we have this gourmet vegetarian cuisine, and this is kind of was like the risky thing for me when we decided on this place. They have yoga. It is a yoga and meditation retreat center in Costa Rica, and it includes your cost of admission includes 3 delicious, consciously prepared gourmet vegetarian meals. We serve fresh, locally sourced fish 3 evenings a week and eggs every morning along with breakfast. They also have cheese, which is also regularly available. And they also mentioned that while their buffet, let's see if I can back that up. While their buffet always provides vegan and gluten-free options. And to accommodate food restrictions and allergies, there is a pure food option offering veggies, grains, and legumes cooked without any seasoning or oil. So they really do cater to the participants. But again, there's no meat, no chicken the entire time that we are there, but they will have, again, locally sourced fish, which I'm pretty happy about that myself. That sounds great to me. And eggs also, I tend to eat those things. And they also have a variety of massage and therapeutic services at Blue Spirit. So on top of joining us for the sessions, again, in those break times, if you want to get a holistic massage or reflexology, or you want to do a somatic experience, lymphatic drainage, back, neck, and shoulder massages, cupping therapy, therapeutic massages, physical therapy, Reiki, astrology, cranial sacral balancing, and even deep tissue massage and intuitive healing. They have it all. So if you've never experienced those kind of things, I think what a great place that is to add one of these to your time there. Now, on top of the meals being included in the event, your registration also includes a melt hand and foot therapy kit. You get the soft therapy roller, you get a melt resistance bands, and 30 days free on Melt on Demand, which is my streaming platform. There are, I think we now have maybe 750 or 800 videos in the categories of pain, performance, and lifestyle. I also teach a live class pretty much every single week unless I'm traveling. And it's just a great way to embody the methodology and learn how to create and devise your own melt maps that are contoured for what you're looking for, whether that's to alleviate pain or boost your energy, or maybe you're dealing with a neurological or systemic disorder. We have melt maps and melt collections for just about everything, and we continue to add more and more and more every single month. I also have worked quite a bit of time on a customizable pre-event essentials video library, so that before you come to the event, you actually have videos that we're going to encourage that you watch. And this way, 30 days before the event, you've got your tools and you can watch the basic sequences so that when we get there, instead of being like, wow, this is all super, super brand new, we actually offer this opportunity included in this to have a little bit more information and practice before you get there so we can refine your ability to do the methodology. We also create a private Facebook page. And so for those of you guys who are on Facebook, you want to communicate with me, or you have questions about your own practice as you keep going, leading up to the event, once again, I'm there for you. So I kind of feel like that's sort of unique about our events. Most events you go to, There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then that's it. I often shoot the videos in the group classes so that I upload those to your Facebook group and so that you actually have them for any time thereafter. And if they're great videos, I even post them on Melt on Demand in a collection for this particular event. And I also have created a melt journal. And something that I know about self-care is it is a practice. And keeping a practice, and I mean this in all sincerity, a daily self-care practice. And I just know that a lot of people have a hard time getting started. And the Melt Journal has helped many of our students embody the practice and actually learn how much we would forget if we hadn't written it down. How did I feel today? What changed after a session? I think all these things are a really powerful opportunity for you to see the benefits and feel the benefits in your body, but also look back a year later and see where you are well beyond this retreat. I think the great thing about the retreat are all the hands-on assists that you get. And again, I'm there to refine your practice and skills. The accommodations here are really beautiful. We have early bird pricing that ranges from $2,000 to $3,200 for the entire time that you're there. That includes everything. There's one called a Hermitage Queen Single, and that one is a $3,200 space. The room does feature a little desk and a little ensuite bathrooms with solar hot water, air conditioning, and an overhead fan. I always like to mention those kind of things. There is a garden suite single, again, all with AC. There's an ocean view double. So if you have a friend, the double occupancy is oftentimes a great way to reduce some of the cost because you've got a friend coming with you. There's also a mountain view double room, also another beautiful. I love that we're in Costa Rica and we're at the ocean, but there's also this beautiful mountainside on the opposite side, and we're really surrounded by lush greenery everywhere. There's also a nature suite double, also another nice large suite to have. And then there's a Hermitage twin double, so a slightly smaller beds. But again, if you want to come with a friend, this is a nice way for those of you guys looking for a little bit of a better deal. They also have these types of rooms. And then they have an eco cottage double. These are a little bit more, I think, like roughing it, I guess. The eco cottages are about a 5-minute hike away from the stone stair from the Blue Spirit's main building. So it's just a little bit of a walk. And these consist of a natural wood frame structure that houses 2 twin beds only. And they have this little full but compact ensuite bathroom with ambient temperature showers. And there's screens for natural ventilation, so there are no ACs in these rooms. And so that's just, I guess, the uniqueness of it. Now, I just want to mention this, and we can come back to this later, but if you can't make it to this event, I have another event here in the United States, and we actually have a info call coming up. Kerrie, when is the info call?
It's May 22nd, and Marco will put the link to join that 6 p.m. Thursday.
Beautiful. Yeah, so this Thursday, and this is a really unique one. This is my last US event probably for the next 2 years. So if you are in the US or you are wanting to travel here, we're doing an immersive sonic and restorative therapy retreat with my dear friend Lloyd. He is an incredible shaman, body worker. He's a massage therapist. He is a healer, and his gift is in sound healing. He uses the didgeridoo and gongs and other musical instruments, and it really is going to be amazing. We did something together at Red Mountain Resort, and it was just unbelievable. And this one, we've really contoured a lot of sessions that both incorporate melt and sound. And then you can see in this image, this beautiful pool that is right on the intercoastal. And the event is actually just a couple of miles away from the beach itself. And our beaches down here are incredible. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, oh, Florida in July. Well, even in the afternoons when it rains, we will be in session. And then in the evenings, it's quite wonderful and warm. And Fifth Avenue and literally 100 different types of restaurants are here. And in the info session, we'll be talking a little bit more about that. But for this one, for this event, again, I'm really excited to have you guys ask questions if any of you guys have questions. And Kerrie, is there anything else that you want to talk about the Costa Rica retreat?
Well, we've got some logistics, like where do I fly into and what
Right.
time of day and that kind of thing. So the closest airport is about 2.5 hours away. So it's Liberia Airport, LIR are the call letters, and you would fly in on Saturday, November 1st, and you'd fly out on November 8th. And they do have specific times for shuttles. And what they do is they try to group you in with at least four other people who are going to Blue Spirit. So you'll be traveling in with some other people. The shuttles are booked as a separate expense. I just wanted to mention that. It's about $65 each way to go to and from the Blue Spirit. So I did want to mention that. Everything else we kind of touched on. I'd love to know if anyone has any questions at this point. Opening it up to you all. You can unmute yourself or raise your hand.
I have a question.
Debbie?
Tell me again how if you bring a spouse, how does that affect the cost and all that?
So we're talking about Costa Rica here.
Oh,
So those prices were they're going to be the same, whether you're
equal.
an instructor, you're right, because this is an all-inclusive resort
All
that we,
right. Okay. That
so
makes sense.
the Naples event is a little different.
Okay, that's what you had said. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
What is the elevation? I don't know, but I can look it up really quickly, I think.
Oh,
What,
what's the elevation of Blue Spirit? Yeah, I don't know. It's a really good question.
let's see if I can find that really quick.
Yeah. What other questions do you guys have? And Marco's put a lot of stuff in the chat about the event and again, even for the Naples retreat event, that when Lloyd will be with us. And I am going to mention that we might actually have a special second guest at the Costa Rica event. I don't want to say who until she confirms that yes, she's coming, but I will give a hint that we would then incorporate Mel for Pilates into the retreat, which is also a fantastic
Pretty
protocol.
big.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any yoga at the event? If the resort offers any yoga classes?
That's a great question. I will have to reach out to the resort to find out. Um, I am not aware.
Possible.
It is
And
possible.
and we may, because we're launching our Melt for Yoga collection, that those of you who do engage in just, basic asanas and, sun salutations and such, I can teach you how to incorporate melt into your yoga practice if we have time. We'll see what people register for it. And that's another thing, I always want to say this in live events, it's so different than how I teach on Melt on Demand. Because on Melt on Demand, while I do cater to the people who show up for the class, and we have these pre-class chats on Melt on Demand where we spend 15 minutes, kind of given an idea, and then people asking me questions, and then we do the class, and then they come back and ask me more questions or tell me what changed. I'm always on Melt on Demand also thinking about the person who's going to watch the recording. But in this instance, the event becomes more about who's there. So depending upon who shows up, and what I like doing is doing kind of a personal questionnaire that you send to me before we go. And if people are dealing with back pain or neck pain, or somebody had an injury, or somebody is dealing with maybe it's chemotherapy, or they've just come off of some cancer treatment. I love being able to really cater an event for exactly who shows up in the room. And that is also very unique in the way that we teach.
And the guests who come want to share things with the group as well. And Sue is very open to that. So if we have a yoga teacher that ends up coming, they might offer yoga classes for us. We may also have some of our yoga trained melt instructors come, just like Sue was saying. We kind of wait to see who registers, and people just offer to teach classes or give workshops. It's really quite awesome.
Endearing. Yes, we did our event in Costa Rica this past year, and I had Debbie Rosas come, who's the founder of NIA, and we had other guests. Some of them worked with regression therapy. Some of them worked with neuroscience. And so in the downtime, they were like, hey, could I do a lecture on neuroscience and how emotional trauma and neuroscience are linked? And I was like, feel free. And half of the group came, more than half came to these sessions. So that is, I mean, again, our community is so giving and offering for support on every level that if somebody has a superpower or a gift and it's like, hey, I want to teach something in this downtime, if people want to show up and they want to teach it, I don't stop them. I think that's awesome, actually. And again, I do like to record the classes for everybody who shows up so that we can then repost them and you can have them so that when you leave, you still have access to these videos. And I think that's kind of awesome too. And these are, to me, beyond what you're paying for. I always feel like that's what I mean by over deliver. I always feel like an event is so short a time, but our community is a lifetime community. So if I can offer the instance of experience in the moment, but I can give you that experience as a recording so that you can come back and do it again, I think that's an extra gift that I just give in my events. I think it's a bonus. So
Yeah, it's a huge bonus.
yeah.
For sure.
My film education comes in handy in that instance.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So just coming back to the yoga question, usually there are retreats there, right? So we booked, I believe we have about half of the resort. The other half is going to be booked to a separate retreat. So there's very little interaction between the groups. I think we do all eat meals together, but I don't think, but I will, confirm this, that Blue Spirit has a staff yoga teacher. Because it usually is just all kind of bought out by retreats like us, and we bring in our own teachers. So it really does depend if we've got a yoga teacher coming in with us.
Yeah, and we have this posted on our website, and so we already have registrants who are already booked, and this is definitely like a limited engagement. This isn't one of these very big ones that we have. So it is an opportunity. And if any of you guys are saying, hey, I want to go, but I wonder, do people look for a roommate? And the answer is yes. Oftentimes people want to come and they're like, could you room me with somebody? And that is always, I think, such a great way to meet our community. And I think we've had people just make lifelong friends in these events. And I think that's also quite special. And men and women do come. Sometimes people ask, is it all women? And I say, no, some of our events have husbands and wives come, brothers and sisters. We just have curious minds who are just interested in melt. So I think that if you do have a partner, I think that that's an opportunity to bring your partner, especially if you are interested in self-care and they are not so much, but you know that they would benefit if they did do something with you. And I always feel like couples that melt together stay together because you can help one another, in your daily lives. I had a client who said to me, yeah, some days my husband's back is bothering him. And I just used to think, well, I guess I'm the one who's going to be cleaning up the kitchen tonight. And she shifted her mindset after the retreat. And when his back was bothering him, she would say, well, let's get on the ground and let me help you do a low back release, and we'll do a little bit of a sequence and see if we can make you feel better. And it gave her time to shift her energy towards her husband. And she said, my relationship with him has completely changed. And I hope to come back to another retreat with him. And I said, I think that's magical because instead of being mad at him for not cleaning the kitchen, after she melts him, she's like, how about you help me clean the kitchen now that I've helped you? And they do things, they're more of a team. And I find that fascinating and also heartwarming to have your partner helping you with your self-care and kind of
Yeah.
like an accountability partner. I think it's important.
Well, I just flash back to just memories of people's faces and bodies when they first walk in to one of these experiences. And then the app, like I wish we had before and after pictures of here's the arrival day and here's them going home. And their bodies look different, their faces look different, they're transformed, really.
Indeed.
It's really magical.
Indeed.
Awesome
And
stuff happens.
yeah, and I think that this retreat place, I mean, Blue Spirit gets a 5-star review from so many people. And it's a place I've actually wanted to go to for quite some time. So I'm excited to bring our community there and to see, just again, what transpires for, I think, just a group experience of melt and movement and groove and dance, laughter, connection, etc.
And people seek out this particular venue to go to time and time again. They go back over and over again. And I will let you all know on a little secret. We just listed on the Blue Spirit website and we only have 30 spots left. So, not to put a bug in your ear about that, but if you want to come to this, you might want to book it soon. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. So what else? What do you guys have any other questions? Hopefully what we've shared with you gives you at least a little idea about the experience of it. Again, like our flow is most often a morning melt and meditation. We oftentimes have sort of a workshop jam. I usually do at least 3 of those in a week, kind of an event, because teaching a class is teaching a class, right? But when I can do it more like a workshop style and really put my hands on every single person in the room, as well as Kerrie, and, being able to get that hands-on assist, I definitely also would say that whether you're a beginner or you are a seasoned melter or even a melt instructor and you haven't come to a live event, or maybe you came to one a long ago, getting hands-on help is like taking your melt practice from a 1 to a 10 in literally a week's time. The little nuances that you can watch it 1,000 times on a screen, but being in the room with me, getting my hands on you will, in one session, get you to go, oh, I get it. And I think that also is what's powerful about these sessions, is that you get to ask questions, we get to break down moves, refine your practice. If you're one of the people that is like, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, you will leave saying, I get it now. And I think, again, that's an important aspect of the practice, is feeling confident with what you do and getting a vacation to boot. I think that's great.
Sue,
Yeah.
if there are 2 people registering for this, do they need to register together to get the room together? How do they do this?
Yeah, so you'd register for 2 people. So there's a $500 registration fee. So you'd have to register for both people. And then we just email
Okay.
you and say, who's your roommate or what's your roommate's name? So if
Okay,
you
so you should register together.
register together, and then we reach out and ask you the name of the second person.
Okay.
Are you coming, Marlene?
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Come on, girl. I love that. Thank you.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Indeed. Well, if you do end up having questions after you kind of peruse the website, you can find out more. You can see where the registration is and just the information about it. If you go to Melt Method and you click on events, you'll see both this retreat and again the retreat that's coming up this July 18th to the 22nd, which again we have an info call on the 22nd, so just in a couple of days from now. And in that one, you can meet Lloyd and he'll talk a little bit about sound healing and what we're going to be covering in this very unique event, which is all based in vibration. And we will even in that retreat, I'll be bringing the new Melt Fascia Hydrator. This is our new product that is coming out this July. And so people coming will be able to experience using low frequency vibration on their body while getting sound healing in the room.
Wow.
So if I can tell you that you will be vibrating yourself out of the room and for months on end. Sound healing, if you've never really experienced really true sound healing, and I'm not talking about the crystal bowl people, which I think is very nice, but crystal bowls are at one harmonic, whereas these metal Tibetan bowls are multiple harmonics in a single instrument. And the way that Lloyd plays, I don't even know what to say about the didgeridoo. The didgeridoo will literally pull up toxins out of your body in a single session. When we did it in Red Mountain, I remember the next day waking up and feeling like I had had a thick layer of tartar on my teeth. And I said to him, God, it was like my teeth felt dirty. And he goes, oh yeah, it's just releasing all the toxins from your gum. And I'm like, man, my mouth must be full of toxins. He goes, everybody's is. And that's the crazy thing about vibration therapy is that it rattles your mouth because it's a cavity. And I was like, God, I hadn't really thought about that, but how powerful that is in your overall healing. I saw people literally transform, I don't even know what to say except Lloyd himself is a powerful healer, and this kind of retreat that is completely contoured toward the healing experience through sound, vibration, and frequency, I think it's going to be really spectacular. And we're going to do a sound healing in the pool. We're going to be doing a sound healing at the ocean. We'll be doing one of the sound healings in the room. So it's going to be pretty special. Yeah. All right.
Kerrie and Sue, can I ask a question?
Hi, Anna.
Sam.
Yes, I can't see you, but sure.
I know it's not. Anyway, couple questions. You said all these tools were included. We're coming to Costa Rica, my husband and I. And so is that stuff, are we going to receive that ahead of time and bring it, or we get it there?
Yep. We give it to you before you come and you'll bring it with you.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I'm coming to the instructor event in Naples. Is the sound guy going to be there too?
Yes.
Oh, good. You're telling me all this stuff, and I'm like,
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
Just to
okay.
clarify, the sound guy is coming to the Naples events, not the Costa Rica event.
Correct.
Right. No. Okay.
Yeah, but
All
he
right.
will be there for the general public and the Melt Instructor Retreat. He's coming to both.
But we're bringing our own tools for the instructor event, right?
Yes, indeed.
Got it. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Welcome. We're glad to see you, Anna.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see y'all too.
Me too. I can't wait. All right. Yeah, Debbie.
Oh, there, I can unmute. I know this is my 40th anniversary, so I'm really trying to get my husband to one of these events, but I know I'm not going to get him to groove any. I don't think so. But so the time in between, it's like time to go like hike or do something he would like to do.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, a lot of times the guys will be like, I'm not going to that groove class. And it's like, just come to the first one. And then they're hooked because it's even a great workout and it's just fun to move around. And again, it's not like, like when you go to a Zumba class and everybody is exactly the same going through these very complicated dance moves. And that is just not what this is. This is really to move and be free with your body, but absolutely. And that's another thing, at any of our events, we put scheduled sessions. But if you don't want to come, there's like, nobody's going to be like, where's Debbie? We're going to wait for her. She's not coming. We're not doing it. Right. If you decide, hey, I want to go on this excursion, or, we found this guide who's going to take us to the mountains for a whole day event, go and do it. Right. We're here. And remember, those sessions we're recording anyway, and you'll get the recording if you want it. If you kind of like feel like you're FOMO, like fear of missing out on something, you'll still have it. So yeah,
That's good to know. It
Yeah.
sounds like a great event. My husband is a melt believer. I was stuck in Cincinnati with my daughter who had a premature baby in Cincinnati, 4 hours away, and he was starting his second day on the job, a new job, and his baby was down in his back. They had moved concrete the first day, and I said, well, get your melt roller out, and I sent him a couple of your videos, and I'm telling you, he got to go to work the next day, and by day 3, I mean, honestly, he got him through the week.
I love
And
that.
anytime I bring up melt, he's
That's
like,
it. It's amazing if we can get our partners to care for themselves, it really makes a better relationship, especially because I do find women tend to be a little more engaged in self-care than men. But the men who do engage in self-care, they're a powerful force. They are powerful men, and they stick with it. And I think that's beautiful
Yeah.
too. So
and
let's get your
people, they
husband.
become believers.
I love it.
And as far as the groove, again, I didn't, this is about myself now. I would like to come to that for sure, and he might. But is it more on neural development, that missing link of not having the proper movement at the proper, infants?
Oh, Debbie, yes. I mean, we do a lot of functional movement with groove, and just having music on and being able to kind of move in your own way, but move to the rhythm of the music, it can certainly ignite neural pathways that
Yes.
may have, misaligned in the past. But we work on balance. We do fun songs where we kind of like trip and fall in slow motion and kind of come down onto the floor and tumble for a minute, and then we get back up and like balance. And it's so good for neurological connections and neuroplasticity and all that stuff to move around in random ways and keep your brain guessing. It's so good for you. We walk around backwards and sideways, and it's just so fun.
Interesting. Okay.
It's so much fun. Yeah, people like their entire mood changes after and during a groove class.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Deb. Anybody else?
Love it.
Any ideas, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, questions?
This question's for Kerrie. It's me again, Anna.
Yeah.
You said November 1st when we coming into the airport and then take the shuttle. Is there anything that we have to come in for on November 1st, or we start on the 2nd?
We will start with an opening circle, and that usually happens just before dinner. So usually 5 o'clock, we don't have a schedule planned, but it's usually about 5 o'clock is opening ceremony.
Okay, it gives me a time frame for the flights and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll have, as soon as I get an answer from Blue Spirit about what time they prefer to have everyone at the airport by, we'll put that on the website.
Okay, great.
And in some cases, some people like to come in a day before, and we have a list of hotels that are near Liberia Airport that you can stay at the night before, so you can get back to the airport.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. With all the flight delays now, I always like to come in a day early so I don't miss anything.
Yeah, and I usually just take the earliest morning flight. Usually I'm the one taking the risk. I'm like, I'm just gonna take that morning flight. But sometimes you come in a day early. It just depends.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining on this info call. And for those of you guys who are listening to this as a recording, we'll make sure that we send this out to everybody. If you think of somebody who you're like, you should listen to these guys and maybe come, send it to a friend. Maybe you're curious, like maybe it's a best friend. It might be somebody you haven't talked to for a long while. Maybe it's a relative or some sort of a family member. I think these are always just, again, opportunities to deepen your connection to not only yourself, but to the people that you love. And I hope to, again, over deliver and under promise in my events and make an absolutely world-class event that will be unforgettable. In the meantime, as I always say to everybody after one of our sessions, please be good to yourselves, sip water frequently, eat water-filled foods, and call somebody that you love today. Like literally right now, if all of us hang up and we actually call somebody that we love, I'm telling you, together we can amplify the frequency of the whole universe. So think of somebody that you love and don't think about it, just literally like it's 1985 and pick up and actually call a phone number and talk to somebody. Don't text them, don't email, call them and see if you can get them on the phone and tell them how much you love them and why. I think it always brightens somebody else's day when we do such amazing, loving things. Happy melting. I hope to see you guys at one of our sessions. See you soon.